So we are back with another episode quite soon after the last one, and we're here with Laith from the Gooner, and we're getting going.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on your podcast, guys. We're back with Gooner Fanzine TV with a little association this year. We're gonna got a couple of things going on that was going to be of interest to you. Hopefully, we're going to talk about obviously Arsenal, Watford, aren't we? So shoot with that, and we'll have a chat.
Sweet. So I wasn't very happy today.
What overall?
Overall, I was saying to my dad on the way to the game that the atmosphere felt very different. It felt like things had properly changed. Like there wasn't the same tension. It was like everyone was there for a good day out.
Sunday 2 p.m. as well, though.
Yes, but you know, I think people were alright about that, and then it felt good going into the ground, and then but quite quickly, it sort of seemed to change a little bit.
I don't think it was a negative performance. I thought there were some good bits, but I also think that the fact that we should have won 4-0, I keep on banging on about it, really...
Yeah, I don't know where you've come up with this.
Well, no, I've not come up with it. Aubameyang's, the culprit for 3 goals that we should have buried. So you've got the Saka goal, which was given offside because Aubameyang has a bad touch, which leads to the ball going into Saka's pathway. Yeah. And then the offside rule where you have to be offside by 2 players when the goalkeeper's involved was the reason he was offside. You've got the missed penalty and Odegaard's goal, which was on the line, it was going in, he's decided to touch it from an offside position as the ball was on the line. So on another day, on most other days, we would have won 4-0. Yeah. So I think if there's any negativity, it's more so that we didn't win 4-0 than... The performance wasn't at its best, but it wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't awful. I thought after that penalty miss, the atmosphere sort of really seemed to change. I don't know whether you got a picture of that more from the media section, Laith.
Yeah, it was one of those games where you just look back and you think, I'm glad we got the win, and the performance was almost secondary really, but we just made it really difficult for ourselves. You should never miss a penalty. It's so frustrating when that happens. We obviously had Saka's goal that was disallowed prior to that as well. There was chances that we should have put away and could have put away, and as you said about Aubameyang as well, with if he'd have just left the ball, and I suppose you could argue that's a striker's instinct to do that with Odegaard's shot, but at the same time it was so frustrating to see that as well. And I mean, I used to watch Arsenal Watford in the 80s, and there was a whole raft of games where Watford would always beat us. So I never think that beating Watford is an easy thing to do, really.
No, I mean, especially with all the Troy Deeney shithousery in recent years.
There's no love lost between the two teams.
Absolutely, it's interesting as well because I covered Watford Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, and that was Ranieri's first game. And that first 45 minutes, they were dreadful, absolutely dreadful.
Awful.
They played 4-5-1, and it was they were all over the place.
They played 4-5-1 today as well.
I thought it was more 4-1-4-1. Sissoko in the middle, and he absolutely nailed it in terms of Partey not being there, and he bossed the midfield.
He was in the middle, but they had 2 midfielders and 2 wingers, and then when they countered, the wingers would go high, and it was a 3 in midfield. It's very similar.
Oh yeah, if you'd have seen how badly they played.
It was awful against
Liverpool. They were so bad,
and it was completely different. I thought, but
they're quite good at Everton, though.
Yeah, 5-2. Josh King, that chance at the end as well with Ben White and Ramsdale with the little cock up there. Ramsdale's. He's obviously got his feet on the ground. He's a big character. He's going to do really well for England. He's going to play in the international break, hopefully. But he's got to be careful with stuff like that because that could have cost us. Yeah. Josh King's on fire, like you say. That 5-2, he was brilliant that day.
With that misunderstanding between White and Ramsdale, my mind went straight to the Birmingham Cup final in 2011 with Shelby.
And I was saying to my dad, Hull as well. Do you remember when Fabianski came rushing out of his goal and Aluko had one cleared off the line by Gibbs in extra time?
Yeah. That game again. Yeah, it was just.
We've had quite a few of them.
Yeah, I almost removed them from my mind because it's too painful, basically, and that could have been another one today.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure we'll touch on it, but Josh King, I think, was one of the leaders of their continuous diving and rolling around. Him and Gabriel went into a lot of 50-50s, and he would go down, and he was begging the ref. I was keeping my eye on him a little bit. There were I'm sure we'll go into it, there were numerous Watford players playing their games today, which really frustrated me.
Yeah, I mean, from where I was sitting, I thought there was a good duel between Gabriel and Ismail Assar. And I remember he was at Rennes. I remember doing a game at Rennes. I remember driving over there to France to cover the Europa League game a couple of years back, and he scored. They beat us 3-1 over there. He had an absolute stormer. Maitland-Niles played really well in the second leg. We beat him 3-0. But I've always sort of kept tabs on him. He's done all right for Watford. Nothing too special, but Gabriel had him in his pocket.
Was the away leg the one where Aubameyang's whipped out the Black Panther mask?
No, that was the home leg.
That's the home leg. Yeah.
And then we beat him 3-0.
Okay,
yeah. But I mean, it's just I was saying to my brother as well after the game that it's one of those sort of games where the whole week you're looking at sort of other results, and we were assuming that West Ham would lose to Liverpool, which they didn't. But you're looking at that and you're thinking, oh, if we win, we're level on points with top 4. We're 6 points off the top. We're this and that.
Yeah.
And I remember so many games like that in the past where we've looked at them and been like, oh, if we win this, we go 5 points clear. And you just end up going and lose.
Yeah.
We end up going and losing.
When it felt like there was sort of an eeriness after Aubameyang missed his penalty.
Yeah.
And my mum said to me, we're going to draw this game 1-1. She said she's got a feeling, and I had it as well, as kind of, you've missed so many clear-cut, like, high XG chances. I know we don't like XG and whatnot, but 9 out of 10 times, Leify does not like XG. Let's not get onto it, lads.
Yeah, we're allowed to swear.
You are.
Wankers,
no, but you know what I mean.
You play Hackney Martins on a Sunday morning. You're not going to go out there centre forward. We're expected to score 2 goals.
I'm there analysing expected goals, mate. That's my tactics.
No, but you get what I mean. 9 out of 10 times we would have scored those 3 goals, which we should have scored today.
Should have, would have, I suppose. But yeah,
that's what I mean. It builds into that sense of, it might just not be our day, and Watford might hit us on the counter or score a set piece or something.
Yeah.
So there was that kind of feeling, and then the relief in Smith Rowe's celebration, and then the chance started coming along, and it was a nice little last 20 minutes. We had to dig in a little bit, but
it was a nice last 20 minutes.
Okay, it was a nice 5 minutes of singing afterwards.
It was a nice 5 minutes.
I mean, after the absolutely horrendous August we had, I've just literally started looking at the league table again.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's so weird to see where.
You're having been 20th on 0 points, scored 0 goals.
So now be 5th, 2 points off top 4, 6 points off first.
Yeah, and I'm always going
to
start
doing
2
points behind Liverpool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that work?
It doesn't. I mean, it does. But it's just mental when you consider, like, on the way up to Burnley, we're like 17th or something in the league with 3 points or something.
Well, I think the truth's going to come out in the next couple of weeks, isn't it? After the international break, when we will go up to Anfield and then
and Old Trafford.
And Old Trafford as well.
But I mean, we've been saying that after every game. Okay, Spurs is a test, Leicester's a test, and we keep on passing them. So if we, drop points away at Anfield, I don't think we should go, it's not working.
If the wheels come off and they tonk us like 4-5-1, as they have done recently.
Okay, but if we lose 1-0, 2-1 or draw or something like that, and the performance is decent, then
I don't know.
It's the Christmas period that always tests teams like this.
Wow.
Because we got Liverpool, then Newcastle, and then you got United on a Thursday, Everton on a Monday.
3 days difference between those games from that point.
Yeah, but I suppose we haven't got Europe, so it's it's not as great as it could be. But and we've always just had a really bad November, haven't we?
Yeah, November. I was looking. It's the month where we average the lowest amount of points. I think we averaged like 1.2 points a game in November.
Yeah, so
even going back to the days where we were like first in the league until Christmas or something, and it would start to go downhill in November. Just before we move on to our sort of tactics section, I was wondering if we could get Leif's sort of analysis of what his matchday experience is generally. Doesn't have to be even this game, from where you sit and the role that you do in matches and stuff like that.
Blimey, I mean, it depends which decade you're talking about. If it was the 80s and 90s, it was literally be down the pub for 4 hours before kick-off, make kick-off just, after the first the whistle, and stagger through a game.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the terraces, in the stands. But nowadays, obviously, I'm fortunate enough to be a journalist, and I cover the games, a lot of games in the press box, and I know how lucky I am.
Can we just say me and Lola are very grateful for like the connections and the tickets and the stuff that you're doing
Leif
with
has
us.
been the main reason that the 38 game season has stayed on.
Oh no, well you can't watch a team for 40 years and not meet a few people and get a few contacts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been great. It's given me a new lease of life, giving you guys lifts to away games and stuff. And
you get more people in the Gooner mobile. It's not just you and your Oasis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, it's all good fun. I live and breathe Arsenal. When I'm in the press box, I try and be as neutral as possible while sort of
especially in the away ends. Oh wait, I mean in the away stadiums.
Home and away it doesn't really matter. But you have to be as neutral as you can in the press box. But at the same time, you are writing for your readers. And prior to kick-off, even these days, I'm actually selling the Gooner outside in the Arches on Hornsey Road.
Yeah, so, if you ever hear anyone go, get your Gooner, that'd be
that'd be me. So thank you very much. I mean, absolutely humbling the amount of goodwill that we get from everyone that comes along and buys a copy as well. It's absolutely astounding. So we obviously Lowell writes for us, and you're going to be writing in print as well.
Yeah,
have been, so more long may it continue basically. But yeah, it's all good fun. That's the thing. Arsenal's a family. It's a community there. There's a lot of really loyal Gooners, whether they're young, old, whatever. It's in the blood basically, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I was going to say sort of something that that you've had over the last couple of years that me and Harry haven't have. I mean, obviously you've been there for a lot more games than us, but you were there throughout those lockdown games, and I was wondering what your perspective of that was, because it must have felt really weird.
Yeah, very good question. I probably did about 60, 65 games during the whole lockdown when there was no fans there. And what's the old phrase? Football without fans is nothing. That's what it felt like. It just felt like glorified training sessions, all of them.
Because I suppose you get a bit of a feel of it off TV. You know, if it's on Sky and you got the Premier League logo there, you sort of think, oh, this is a Premier League game. Whereas if you're actually there and there's actually no one around,
it's like going down the park and watching a football match. I suppose, obviously, much higher level, but that sense that you're just on a pitch. And you can hear nothing, just the players and the coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the best things about it. The fact you could hear the coaching staff talk and then issue instructions and hear the sort of conversations that were going on. But apart from that, there was no positives at all.
I think
it was just glorified training sessions.
I think one thing that ties into sort of football is nothing without the fans was the fact that the tactical side of the match was, I think, exacerbated in that period. And there was a lack of intensity and pressing and tackling because I think coaches thought, we don't have the fans getting on our backs. So if we don't worry about that so much, we can really, really try and drill into our players what we want out of them. Yeah. But the game lost a little bit of passion and fight within that.
Yeah. Well, because I was saying to you actually when I thought Odegaard didn't have a great game when we played at home to Spurs, and I was saying to you that he might have got quite a different picture of the North London derby
from his North London derby debut.
He's played in one with no fans, and the passion and the intensity and the aggression just isn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just, even in the simple things like a throw-in, if you're taking a throw-in down the corner near the away fans or in a sort of hostile home stadium, you're going to get stick basically. Yeah. Just picking them up and throwing the ball as if it was a training session. There's so many little things that basically denuded the fact that it wasn't a proper matchday experience. It wasn't that, as you said, the intensity was missing basically. And it's great to have fans back because it really does let the players, just gives them a bit of a kick up the backside really in terms of that intensity. And it's great to see.
And just to touch on the fan base, I think we're starting to really build a good connection with Arteta and the squad that we have at the moment. I think the new players have injected a lease of life into the connectivity between fans and players. I think Ramsdale and Ben White have really sort of charged the team to come towards us at the end of matches, and Ramsdale gives a fist bump, and there's a lot of clapping and singing, especially in the away end, and it feels like there's a lot more emotion on the players' behalf. They all seem to care so much more this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see there is a bond there, and Arsenal fans have been brilliant this season in terms of getting behind their team. I think Arteta has had a bit of a pass in terms of last season, losing 10, 11 games, what it was in the league. Yeah. If that had happened in front of fans last season, I'm not sure he'd have been there. Here still now, but basically.
Maybe we'll be thanking the heavens for that.
Absolutely.
When we lift the trophy.
Yeah, let's hope so. But, let's hope so. But I think he did get away with it last season. Yeah, which is great because now everyone's unified. There's community. There's a bond there.
And also he's been given time to develop a team that now is starting to look quite proper.
It's so moulded to him and his tactics as well, though. Yeah. So we need to stick with him because A, he's doing a good job. B, if you were to change, you'd have to rip the squad up again.
Yeah. I mean that's why that Man City game hurt so much. We were sort of talking about it on the way back and stuff, and it just felt like there was nothing going on. It felt like we lost the changing room. The players weren't even given enough effort.
But me and Harry were talking about this, and you look at the team we played there. It's like just completely different.
It's a completely different.
We had a back five of
Chambers, Holding, Cedric, and
I suppose we've done 10 men, but the fact that I just felt like they weren't putting the effort in. Maybe it was maybe hypercritical, I don't know. Yeah. And Man City are a great side, but that was the lowest point in my whole, sort of watching Arsenal under Arteta, and the way they've rallied since then deserves absolute credit.
Unbeaten since we started the podcast, so
we haven't lost it.
Is that right? Brilliant.
Yeah. We started after Norwich, and we haven't lost since.
Fantastic.
Gonna have to keep it up.
What's that? 10 games unbeaten, 6 out of 8 in the league, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Not too bad.
Good work. If you want to see the rest of this podcast, follow the link below. Left and Red's a brilliant podcast. Follow the guys on iTunes and Spotify. They're absolutely brilliant.